وآل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
بر حبیب خدا ختم الانبیاء بلندتر صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
भाइयों ने रिक्वेस्ट करा कि प्लीज़ આગળ આવો આસંત
رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا واللعنة الدائمة الباقية لأعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر ويقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة ويطيعون الله ورسوله أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم صلوات Last night being the first majlis of the Azab Sayyid al-Shuhada for this year of Muharram, I talked about the mission of Imam Hussain alayhi salam in order to relate that to the purpose of the Azadari itself. And the mission of Imam Hussain alayhi salam was basically to reform the ummah which had become fasid. Islah or salah is only done when there is fasad. And Imam realized that it is the ummah which has problems and difficulties, and there is need to correct the ummah in order to bring it back to the path of Islam. When we talk about reform, I just made some remarks because of the current thinking among the Muslims, even among the Shias in the West and the East, where the issue of reform is coming up. We're to realize that reform does not necessarily mean the way it is used in the Christian theology of something new. If you look at the dictionary meaning of the word reform, what it means is that the act or process of improving something or someone by removing or correcting faults and problems and etc. So the issue of reform does not necessarily mean that we are going towards something new. Reform by definition means that there was a real form of that entity or a people or a thing which has become deformed. And now we would like to reform it, which means we would like to take away the problems which are in there, the corruption which has come in it, and bring it back to the original form. And so this Islah that we see in the words of Amir al-Mu'mineen basically means to return to the original form. So we are not using the word Islah here in the meaning of coming up with something new which will be according to the liking of the modern world necessarily. No. We are not against modernity. We are not against new innovations. But when it comes to religion and the values of religion, we have to realize that there is a set standard which is there for all the time. We have to see whether we are close to it or we have moved away from it. And that was the mission of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Not only Imam, actually if you look at all the Anbiya, in that meaning of reform, all the Anbiya were reformers. Isa alayhi salam came because he saw that Bani Israel had moved away from the true teachings of Musa alayhi salam. So Isa came to reform Bani Israel to bring them back to the track. So Anbiya, when they came one after another, they actually came in order to guide the human society to bring them back on track to the original message and the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat Pranak Barab. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was not preaching anything new. The last line in his wasiyat is very important where he says, what I'm doing is not a innovation or a bid'ah. This is wa asiru bisirati abi jaddi wa abi Ali bin Abi Talib. He says, what I'm doing is actually following the tradition of my grandfather and my father. And when we do the Azaa of Sayyid al-Shuhada, we have to realize that we also are continuing the same purpose. Constantly, every day we have to do this. But this, the enthusiasm and the momentum of the Azaa of Sayyid al-Shuhada gives us the opportunity to reform ourselves, individually as well as a community. And that was the theme that I have selected for the majalis for this Ashara. What I'm talking, inshallah, going to talk about the spiritual development or spiritual reform. It's kind of a dry subject, I know, but inshallah we'll try to keep it, as interesting as possible. But these are the issues that we have to think about. Because when we talk about spiritual development, this is something very important. We have to know what it means when we talk about maintaining the spiritual heart. Tonight I would like to just talk about what is this heart and what is that we would like to reform when we talk about spiritual reform within ourselves or spiritual development. And then briefly talk about the importance of a human being in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in light of this spiritual heart. And inshallah further on then we will see what would be the objective of a mu'min, what are the barriers which come in that development of the spiritual heart, and we will deal with those barriers one after another inshallah till the end of this Ashara. Salawat Pranak Barab. When we talk about the spiritual heart, of course, I'm not talking about the heart which is on the left side of us. That is not my topic. Then you would have a heart surgeon talking instead of me. We are talking about not the physical heart. We are talking about something else. And this is where we have to know what it means. What is it that we are talking about? I don't want to make it, a very difficult and technical subject here. But let me just give you some simple, indication of what we mean when we talk about this soul or the nafs or the heart of a human being. If you look at the body of a human being, there is a possibility that I can actually point to each millimeter of my body and say, this is mine. This is my finger, this is my hand, this is my arm, this is my shoulder, this is my nose. Every part of the body, every millimeter of my body, I can relate to an entity where I say, this is mine. It belongs to me. The question is that that point of reference of every part of the body that I'm linking to, what is it? Technically, I can actually, cut my own body into millimeters and point to each one of them and say, this is mine. Have you ever thought about it? What is you? That's not your body. Because you are relating every part of your body to something else, which is the point of reference. And that point of reference is your nafs and your soul. If you look at, for example, when a person dies, and go and ask a doctor or those who do the postmortem, that when a person dies, is anything missing from his physical dimension? From his body? They will say, no, his body is still intact. Nothing is missing outside or inside his body. Yet you will say he's dead. And when you say he's dead, it means there was something in which is no more there. And that reality or entity which was in there, which was the sign of life of this body, was not a physical entity. Because the body of that person is absolutely intact. Nothing is missing. From the time he was alive, even the time now he's dead. And this is where we come to realize that when we talk about ourselves, when I relate my whole, physical dimension of my being to a point of reference, that is my real identity, and that's my soul, my ruh, and my nafs. And this is where when we talk about the issue of spiritual development, we are not talking about the issue of physical development. It is important. And this is where we come to realize there are two dimensions of us. There is a body and a soul. There is a physical dimension, there is a spiritual dimensions. Health of both dimensions of our being are equally important. But more so the health of and the well-being of the soul, because the body will one day perish. We will be buried in the grave, and that body will decay gradually until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect that on the day of Qiyamah. But the soul does not die. Death is the death of the body and not the death of the soul. We define death as separation of the soul from the body. And that nafs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created is a makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but once it's created, it becomes eternal, it will live forever. Now it is in the body. After our death, it will be there in the form of what we call jasad-e mithali in the ahadith of our Imam, a symbolic body during the time of the barzakh, until the day of Qiyamah comes in, where Allah will resurrect the physical body, and again the soul will go in there. So death doesn't happen to the soul, the death happens to the body only. Salawat padhne ek baar. There are two sciences in religion as well as in other philosophies which caters to these two different dimensions of our being. When it comes to the bodily health, we have the medical science. And when it comes to the spiritual health, we have something which is known as the science of akhlaq or the science of ethics. And these are two important subjects which has been there, and not only Muslims, actually human beings from early days of human history have paid attention to this. If you look at the earliest, early philosophers, all the way from Plato to Aristotle, all these people have actually formulated theories about this concept of what is known as ilmul akhlaq, the science of ethics, dealing with how do you refine your own character and how you develop yourself spiritually. When Plato came, for example, he looked at the rational method of looking at the values, ended up with the absolute, the the idea of absolute values in morality. Aristotle comes later on and he talks about this doctrine of the mean, where everything has a balance. If you go on one side, one extreme, there is deficiency. If you go on the other extreme, you are in excess, and both are not good for your spiritual health. And he ended up basically talking about what is known as relativism, relative values in morality. Others came in, social contract theory of morality, where they say it is the society which will define what is good and bad. And because the society changes from time to time and people's views change, therefore the moral values are not absolute. Sometimes something would be good, a later time, it will be bad. And we see that example in the Western world, especially these days. There were things considered to be sinful even by the church 30 years ago. Now the legal system as well as the church in the West says this is okay. When you look at the issue of homosexuality and things like that. And so these are the people who actually go with the sentiments of the people. They say, during earlier days, these things were considered to be evil. Now it is okay. And so different theories have come in. Then there is a theory known as consequent theory, where they say it doesn't matter what you do, as long as the end result is good, you are okay. There are some who come up with the issue of motivist theory. They said, no, the action by itself doesn't mean anything. We have to see your niyyat was good or not. And so there are all different kinds of theories which are there from early days till now. And the point here is not to confuse you. The point is just to say that this issue of ilmul akhlaq, the science of ethics, which deals with the issue of spiritual development, has been a focus of attention of human beings from early days. This is not only an Islamic issue. Human being, as a human being, has been given this gift by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to talk about the importance of spiritual development. Salawat pढ़ने एक बार और. In Islam, when we talk about these issues, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided two sources of guidance for us. And I'm relying here on the information that you have. I'm sure most of you are going to the madrasa and you know many things. So this is only some isharas here. When we look at the issue of the guidance, in Islam we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a light within every human being. We are not talking about just believers. And that is known as hujjat-e batini. Everyone is born with that hujjat-e batini. Means they have this essential ability to accept the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it is presented to them. Of course, when they grow up, different barriers come in, and then they are not able to accept it. But initial ingredients of accepting the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there in the nafs and ruh of every human being. Then the other means of guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided is in form of revelation, which came through the Anbiya and Mursaleen and the Aimma. And so we have, and this is known as Hujjat Zahiri. And in Islam, we believe that in order to succeed in the hereafter, we need both. We need the Hujjat Batini, the spiritual source of guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, but that can only be, can only become active and be helpful if we use the light from Hujjat Zahiri. So we need the wahi in order to understand the power of aql and the nafs and the ruh of a human being. Let me present to you some of the ayat on this issue where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Hujjat Batini. Salawat pढ़ने एक बार और पहले. Quran is Kalamullah. No doubt about it. It is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not a speech of a human being, not even of the Prophet of Islam. He was actually the person in between who brought the message. But this is the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although the Quran is the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but who is the audience? The audience is the human beings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't talk to us on His level. He talks to us on our level. He uses the same style of speech that we use with one another. And one of the ways of emphasizing a point that I would like to make, for example, when we talk to one another, or when there is a dispute and the other person doesn't really believe in what you are saying, we very frequently use the style of speech which is known as qasam. Isn't it? Qasam khana? To swear. Not this swearing in the modern style. No, we're talking about swearing here in the meaning of, a statement of oath. If there is dispute, especially the mothers, हम अब बच्चे की कसम खा रहे हैं. Why do they do that? Because in the eyes of the mother, the child is the most important thing. And by doing qasam on that child, they are emphasizing that what I'm saying is true. And so this is a normal style of human beings, that whenever they want to emphasize a point, people do qasam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is using the same style when He talks to us. When He wants to emphasize a point, He does qasam. But there is a difference there. When we do qasam, we do the qasam of something which is more important than us. We will do qasam in the name of our child, or even in the name of Imam Hussein or Hazrat Abbas or Ali, or in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say Allah, Billah, Tallah, these are all different words in Arabic. Very common. And so we invoke the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a statement of swear, to swear and to make an oath, to emphasize the point that a person is making. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does the same thing. Of course, He cannot do the qasam of, there is nothing greater than Himself. So when He does the qasam, He uses the entity and the items which are the symbols of His power and glory. We just had Namaz Eid. One of the surahs recited this is Surah Ash-Shams. What is Surah Ash-Shams? 1/3 of it is qasam. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins by saying, وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا طَلَاهَا وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا. These are the initial 6 qasam. Others are coming later on. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I swear by the sun and its light, and the moon that follows it. And I swear by the daytime which shines its light, and the night which comes and covers it with its darkness. And I swear by the heaven, the sky that I created, and the earth that I have expanded. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. Then He comes to next qasam. And I swear by the soul of the human being. Shams and Qamar and Layl and Nahar and Sama and Ard. Then He says, by the soul of the human being. فَلَهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. This is where I come to that inner light that I mentioned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I swear by the nafs of the human being. فَأَلْهَمَهَا. Alhama, the word ilham. Many of you know what is ilham. Ilham means inspiration of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I swear by the soul of the human being. And this refers to every nafs of every human being. فَعَلَهَمَهَا, He says, then He inspired to it فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. What is bad for it and what is good for it. So the issue of fujur and taqwa, evilness and goodness, has been ilham, and it has been inspired in the nafs of a human being from day one. And then He comes to the jawab qasam. After all this qasam of Shams and Qamar and Layl and Nahar and Sama and Arz and nafs of a human being, now He comes to the statement where He says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. He says, verily, a person who purifies his nafs, keeps it pure, he is the successful one. And the person who allows it to become corrupt and dirty by sins, he is the one who is a failure. Salawat pradhne ek baar. According to this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, every nafs of a human being, فَأَلْهَمَهَا, He has inspired it the issue of fujur and taqwa, what is evil and what is good for it. Not the details, otherwise we wouldn't be needing hujjat zahiri. No, but the essential, the potential to accept the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know in our innate nature what is good and bad, has been created in our nafs. And everyone has that. Whether he's a believer or a non-believer, a good doer or a sinful, doesn't matter. It's actually just like, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, whoever does the tazkiyah, zakah, to purify it. You think of the light that we have, the bulb. It is connected by the wire to the source, and the switch is on. If the bulb is kept clean, the light will shine in that area. But suppose there is a room which has not been used for 30 years. The wire is still connected. And you switch on, you put on the switch on. But because of the dirt which has accumulated on the bulb for 30 years, nobody cleaned it. Even if you switch on the bulb, although the power is going in there, it will not show you the light. Why do we call a person a kafir? The literal meaning of the word kafir means to cover. And what it means is that the nafs of a human being who is not a believer still has that ilham, still has that light within. But because that person has not kept it pure, the bad deeds and the bad ideas have accumulated over that nafs in a symbolic sense, not in physical nafs. And although the ilham is still there, the inner light is still there, but because of the dirt, spiritual dirt around it, that person is covering his nafs and the nur. And therefore, technically, we call such a person a kafir. The literal meaning of the word kafir is somebody who covers that nur which Allah has created in his nafs. Salawat padhne ek baar. That is hujjat batini, the inner source of guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. Hujjat zahiri is basically the anbiya and mursaleen and the aimma. And their role is the same, to boost that inner guidance that we have, to bring us always to the right path. In Surah Jummah as well as Surah Ali Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about the Prophet, He says that one of the duties that he has, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ. Number one, he recites the ayat of Quran to them. And number two, yuzakkihim. Yuzakkihim purifies them. What does purification mean here? It's not like the baptism that we have in the church. We don't have any place in the masjid or MOMBASA that, when people become converted, we, give them a bath. No. Here, cleansing or purifying is in the meaning of the spirituality. One of the roles of the Nabi here, specifically our Prophet, is yuzakkihim, to purify the soul of a person. Only when that soul is purified, it has the ability to absorb and accept the message, وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Then the Prophet will teach him the Quran and the values and message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is where we see the link between, hujjat zahiri and hujjat batini. So it is the nafs of a human being which is the most precious element in our existence. And that is the thing which gives us the highest, rank in the world of existence, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we are known as Ashraful Makhluqat. It's not because of this body. We are known as Ashraful Makhluqat because of the nafs, which has the ability to get this ilham from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about what is fujur and what is taqwa. When it comes to the status of the human being in that sense, because of the nafs and the soul, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. Two words Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses in this ayat. Number one, He says, karramna. Karramna means giving karama, to give honor and dignity. He says when it comes to Bani Adam, we have honored him. وَفَضَّلْنَا. Faddalna means to give fazilat, you know, to excel and to prefer the human beings over all other creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. And this is where we have to realize that the whole dunya, the entire universe, is for us, but we are not for this dunya. In Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. Everything that you see in this earth has been created for you, but you are not for this dunya. Everything is for you, but you are not for this dunya. The sun, the moon, the stars are all for us. We are not for the sun and the moon and the stars. And therefore a human being from the Quranic point of view will never bow down in worship of the sun or the moon or the stars. When you talk about the earth, with all the resources that it has, the water and everything within it, the rivers and the plants and the animals, all these are for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have given you the fadilat, I have given you the karama. You will not bow down to anything, neither a sacred river or an animal or a tree or a fellow human being. Everything is for you, and you are not for these things. And therefore, when it comes to the issue of, even the issue of taskhir, Allah says, I have made all these things such that you master them, you control them, you exploit them. You are the master of the world. You are not the slave of this dunya. Many ayat in Quran, I don't want to go into details, but just one here. أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَخَّرَ لَكُم مَّا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Do not you see that whatever is there in the heavens and the earth, Allah has done سَخَّرَ لَكُم. He has created and made them subservient to you. He has given you the aql, He has given you the resources to exploit. And human beings have that ability to exploit whatever there is in this world and this space. We are not for this dunya, the dunya is for us. And therefore you will see, for example, we are told, is sometimes you get scared because of some of the natural events which happen, eclipse of the sun or the moon, or sometimes the earthquake and things like that, or the flood because of the sea and the river. Don't be afraid. Namaz-e-ayat is there to remind us, we are not for these things. We should not fear it in that sense and go down in worship of the natural elements. Rather, when we fear these things, we have to do namaz-e-ayat to remember that Allah is the Khaliq, Allah is the one who controls everything. So namaz-e-ayat is to remind us everything else is for us, but we are not for this dunya. Salawat padne ek baar. There is a hadith Qudsi that we have where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya insan, khalaqtul ashiya li ajlik. Just appreciate your worth. Think about it, what you are. And that's not your body, it's your soul. It is your nafs, which has to be purified, which has to be developed and refined further. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the ayat of Quran. It says everything is for you, but you are not for this dunya. Ya insan, khalaqtul ashiya li ajlik. I have created everything for you. Wa khalaqtuka li ajli. But you I have created for myself. You are not for the sun and the moon and the stars. You are not for this dunya and the rivers and the oceans and the mountains and the resources that are there. These are for you. But you have been created for me. And this is where we have to realize that the potential which is there in human beings as far as spiritual development is concerned is so high that sometimes even to describe that becomes difficult. You know, there's a fear that if I say those words from the Hadith Qudsi, people will say, this doesn't sound right. Because we have not appreciated the worth of our own nafs. That what is the potential that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to each one of us. There is Hadith Qudsi where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Abdi ati'ni, O my servant, obey me. Obey me in an absolute sense, where you do not obey anything, because nothing is, you are not for anything, you are for me. Everything else is for you. And then the Hadith Qudsi goes on, if you obey me in an absolute sense, أَجْعَلُكَ مِثْلِي, I can make you like myself. Like myself, not myself, of course. We get confused sometimes and we say, when we look at the hands of Ali, we say Yadullah. When we look at the eyes of Amir al-Mu'minin, we say Aynullah. And we get confused. How can we say that? Well, this is a hadith which is talking to you directly now. Every human being, nafs of every human being, if you totally submit yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I can give you the power. The difference would be that my power is my own and your power is a gift from me. You will say kun the way I say kun, and the way things will happen, they will happen. If that is the potential of a nafs of a human being, any human being, if they reach to that level, if they try to reach to that level, we do not even have the ability to appreciate the status of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad salawatullah alayhim ajma'in. Salawat. We hear the ahadith where we talk about 10 levels of Iman. And these are confirmed ahadith from our Imams, where we are told Miqdad is on the 8th level, Abu Zar is on the 9th level, and Salman is on the 10th level. Salman, who is on the 10th level, would be an example of that nafs which had reached to that level, that he had some special powers and knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to him through the Prophet and Amir al-Mu'mineen. There is this famous story, and I just rely on your memory and not go into details, where once Abu Zar, visited Salman. Of course, the meal that would have been very simple. And while they were talking, all of a sudden the pot which was on the fire there flipped over totally. And Abu Zar realized there is nothing inside. Nothing came out. And Salman just put it back. It happened twice. This is where Abu Zar got so scared he just left. Didn't even stay for the food. He was so much confused until he goes to Amir al-Mu'minin. He says, I saw something with Salman, I don't know what to say about it. And this is where Amir al-Mu'minin says, if you really know about Salman, you will actually start having doubts about him. He has been blessed by this special knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Rasulullah and through me. Abu Zar, who was on 9th level, could not appreciate the powers and status of somebody who was on the next level. And we think we can appreciate the level of Amir al-Mu'mineen. You know, sometimes people say that if Salman was on the 10th level of Iman, what was the level of Iman of Ali bin Abi Talib? Was it 100? Actually, that question is invalid and wrong. And we'll come to this whole issue of why do we need the Ahlul Bayt in this whole spiritual development, inshallah, tomorrow. But here I just would like to make a point that our sixth Imam says that Iman has 10 levels. 1 to 10. Didn't say 1 to 100. He put Salman at 10. Where is Ali? The question is not valid when you ask about Ali on which level of Iman he is. Because he is not on the level of Iman. Rather, his love is a condition for Iman of others. He is shart of Iman. When Rasulullah says to Ali, Ya Ali, la yuhibbuka illa mu'min. Nobody loves you but somebody who has Iman. The sign of Iman of a mu'min is the love of Ali. Ali is not an issue that you talk about that on which level of, Iman he is. Just let me give you one example before I go to Urdu. When we drink tea, we get 2 types of tea, don't you? When I was here 17 years ago in Muharram, I remember one of the seniors here was saying, we have, sweet tea and mori chai. And here they say it's mortuary chai sometimes. This is what I'm told in Mombasa. Mori chai means without sugar. And so chai by itself can be sweet or unsweet. Why? Because the quality of sweetness is not part of tea. It is not an essential quality of tea. Only when you add something into it, when you put sugar into tea, it becomes sweet. Many other things. You look at cake, it's sweet. Why? Because you put sugar or honey or something else in it. And those things which are not by themselves sweet, you have to add something into it. Let me now ask you the question about sugar itself. How does sugar become sweet? Do you add something into it? Your tea becomes sweet because of the sugar. How did this sugar become sweet? Would you go and buy sugar which is not sweet? Or will you ask back for the money? Because sugar and sweetness are essential. You can never separate one from the other. Sweetness is an essential quality of sugar. If sugar is not sweet, it is not sugar. When you talk about Salman, you can say, what is the basis of Iman? Because there was Salman and didn't have Iman. It was more like tea and sugar. But when you talk about Amirul Mu'mineen, when did he become Mu'min? Well, you are talking about the sweetness of the sugar. You can never separate sweetness from the sugar. Similarly, you can never separate Iman from Amirul Mu'mineen Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. These days there is a craze when we talk about spiritual development. Many of our youths, and may Allah, guide them further and help them in their enthusiasm to become more spiritual. But they get sidetracked by going towards the Sufi tariqas. Let me tell you one thing. If you are a Shia of Ali, you don't need to go anywhere else. You go and study all these Sufi paths. All the Sufi tariqas, they have this chain of disciples and masters, generation back all the way. And you will see almost all of them trace their spiritual chain back to none other than Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
You might leave our path in order to, look for spiritual development and go in the Sufi path, and there also they will take you back to the same door of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And so I appreciate what you have. Look at the examples of our Aimma. Look at the literature that they have left. We don't have any, lack of literature and information when it comes to spiritual development. Just we need to open our eyes and seek the guidance from the Imam of the time, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajul Sharif. Salawat padhne ek baar.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
آج کی مجلس میں انگریزی میں ذرا گفتگو طولانی ہو گئی ہے، لہذا شاید ہم 5 منٹ ایکسٹرا لیں گے. انسان کی فضیلت نفس اور روح کی بنیاد پر ہے، اور یہی عنوان ہے جو ہم نے تزکیہ نفس کے حوالے سے ان مجالس میں سلیکٹ کیا ہے. جہاں نفس کی فضیلت کی بات ہوتی ہے، ایک اور ہم مثال دینا چاہیں گے کہ انسان کی اہمیت خداوند عالم کی نظر میں کیا ہے. ایک مثال ہم دینا چاہیں گے جگہ کی. آپ کا گھر آپ کے لیے محترم ہے. آپ کے گھر میں ایک جگہ ہے جہاں ہمیشہ آپ مصلی بچھاتے ہیں نماز پڑھنے کے لیے. اگر ہم آپ سے پوچھیں کہ آپ کے گھر میں سب سے مقدس ترین جگہ کون سی ہے تو آپ وہ جگہ بتائیں گے. آپ کے محلے میں ایک مسجد ہے. اگر ہم پوچھیں کہ آپ کے نیبرہڈ میں سب سے مقدس ترین پریشیس جگہ کون سی ہے، آپ کہیں گے محلے کی مسجد. مختلف مساجد میں ایک وہ مسجد ہوتی ہے جس کا نام ہے جامع مسجد، جہاں نماز جمعہ ہوتی ہے. ہم اگر پوچھیں کہ ان تمام مساجد جو آپ کے شہر میں ہیں سب سے مقدس مسجد کون سی ہے، آپ کہیں گے مسجد جامع. اگر ہم آپ سے پوچھیں کہ پوری دنیا میں مختلف مسجدیں ہیں، سب سے مقدس مسجد کون سی ہے، آپ کہیں گے مسجد الحرام مکہ میں. مسجد الحرام میں سب سے مقدس جگہ کون سی ہے، آپ کا جواب ہوگا کعبہ. کعبہ جو ہے سب سے مقدس ترین جگہ ہے اس زمین پر اسلام میں. ایک روایت آپ سن لیں کہ ایک بار رسول اسلام، اور یہ روایت ہمارے سورسز سے ہم بیان نہیں کر رہے ہیں، اگرچہ کانٹیکٹ میں ہمیں کوئی اختلاف نہیں ہے، مضمون صحیح ہے اپنی جگہ پہ. عبداللہ بن عمر بن عاص وہ روایت کرتا ہے کہ رسول اللہ جب حج کے لیے گئے ہیں تو طواف وغیرہ کے بعد ایک بار مسجد میں بیٹھے تھے اور خانہ کعبہ کو دیکھتے ہیں. اور خانہ کعبہ کو دیکھنے کے بعد خانہ کعبہ سے مخاطب ہوتے ہیں، گفتگو کرتے ہیں، فرماتے ہیں اشہد انک بیت اللہ، کہ اے کعبہ ہم گواہی دیتے ہیں کہ تو اللہ کا گھر ہے یقیناً. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَظَّمَ حُرْمَتَكَ، اور یقیناً خداوند عالم نے تمہاری حرمت رکھی ہے، اور تمہاری حرمت اللہ کی نظر میں عظیم ہے. حرمت سے مراد یہاں سینکٹیٹی، کعبے کی حرمت اللہ کی نظر میں عظیم ہے. لیکن اس کے بعد ایک جملہ کہا رسول اللہ نے، فرماتے ہیں وَإِنَّ حُرْمَةَ الْمُسْلِمِ أَعْظَمُ مِنْ حُرْمَتِكِ. کاش یہ طالبانی اور آئسس کے لوگ اس حدیث کو دیکھتے. کعبہ سے زیادہ مقدس کوئی جگہ نہیں ہے اس دنیا میں. اور رسول اسلام فرماتے ہیں کہ اے کعبہ تیری حرمت عظیم ہے، لیکن یاد رکھو کہ ایک مسلم کی حرمت تیری حرمت سے بالاتر ہے. مسلمان کا نفس، مسلمان کی جان اللہ کی نظر میں کعبے کے تقدس اور حرمت سے بھی بالاتر ہے. یہ مقام اسلام نے دیا ہے مسلمانوں کو، انسان کو. لیکن ان مسلمانوں نے کیا کیا ہے؟ کلمہ پڑھنے والوں کو قتل کرتے ہیں، مقدس ترین جگہ جو شہر میں ہوتی ہے، فرائیڈے کے وقت جو مقدس ترین وقت ہے، مقدس ترین سیکریٹ ڈے ہے ویک کا، اسی میں جا کے بلاسٹ کرتے ہیں اور نمازیوں کو قتل کرتے ہیں۔ یہ اسلام نہیں ہے، یہ صحیح معنوں میں نہ صرف یہ ٹیررزم ہے بلکہ یہ وحشی پناہ ہے۔ یہ اس قابل بھی نہیں ہے کہ ان کو انسان کہا جائے، لیکن یہ ذہنیت جو ہے یہ کوئی نئی نہیں ہے۔ آپ سوچ لیں کہ وہ رسول جو فرماتے ہیں کعبے سے کہ کعبہ تو عظیم ضرور ہے لیکن مسلم کی حرمت اللہ کی نظر میں تجھ سے بڑھ کر ہے، اور اگر مسلمانوں میں وہ ہو کہ جو نواسے رسول ہو، جو سید شباب اہل الجنہ ہو، اس کی حرمت اللہ کی نظر میں کیا ہوگی؟ وہ مسجد الحرام اور کعبہ جس کو خود قرآن نے کہا ہے کہ وَمَن دَخِلَهُ آمِنَ، جو بھی اس میں انٹر ہو وہ سیکیور ہے، پروٹیکٹڈ ہے۔ شریعت کا قانون ہے کہ مجرم بھی جرم کر کے بھاگ کے کعبے کی طرف جائے تو اسلامی حکومت کو حق نہیں ہے کہ اسے گرفتار کرے۔ اس کے لیے پانی اور کھانا کا راستہ بند کر سکتے ہیں تاکہ فورس کریں وہ نکلے باہر، اور جب نکلے گا تب وہ گرفتار کر سکتے ہیں، لیکن جب تک وہ مسجد الحرام کے اس مقدس جگہ میں ہے اس کو آپ ٹچ نہیں کر سکتے ہیں، مجرم ہونے کے باوجود۔ لیکن یہ مسلمان، عجیب غریب یہ منظر ہے ان لوگوں کا۔ پاکستان کی ٹی وی میں ایک بار جو ہے ایک شو آ رہا تھا، پاکستان میں توہین رسالت، یعنی جو بھی رسول اللہ کے بارے میں کوئی بلاسفیمی کرے اس کو وہ قتل کر دیں گے۔ اس پہ ڈسکشن چل رہا تھا، کچھ اسکالرز تھے، انٹلیکچوئلز تھے، جرنلسٹ تھے، کچھ عالم بھی تھے۔ اس میں ایک سنی عالم بیان کر رہے تھے کہ ہمارے یہاں رسول اللہ کی اہمیت اتنا ہے کہ رسول کے وفات کے صدیوں کے بعد ایک بہت بڑے عالم گزرے ہیں، امام ابو حنیفہ کے شاگرد امام ابو یوسف، وہ ایک دسترخوان پہ بیٹھے تھے۔ اب اس کی روایت ہے یہ، جب کھانا لایا گیا تو اس میں کدو تھا۔ کدو جانتے ہیں نا؟ اینی وے، یا کل خرید کے لے آئیں گے تب بتائیں گے۔ کدو بھی کھانے میں تھا۔ ایک وہاں بندہ بیٹھا تھا، اس نے کہا ہمیں کدو پسند نہیں ہے۔ بقول سنی عالم کے امام ابو یوسف نے تلوار نکال لی غصے میں کہ تم نے رسول کی توہین کی ہے، اس لیے کہ رسول اللہ کو کدو پسند تھا۔ اور وہ مولوی صاحب جو ہے ٹی وی پہ بار بار کدو کو کدو شریف کہہ رہے تھے۔ کدو اتنا مقدس ہو گیا، شریف ہو گیا، اس لیے کہ رسول اللہ پسند کرتے تھے۔ صدیوں کے بعد کسی نے کہا کہ بھئی ہمیں پسند نہیں ہے، تو آپ نے تلوار نکال لی۔ اس نواسے رسول کو آپ لوگ بھول گئے جس کو رسول اللہ پسند کرتے تھے، جس کے بارے میں رسول اسلام فرماتے تھے کہ اس کا خون میرا خون ہے، اس کا گوشت میرا گوشت ہے، ہم ان سے ہیں اور یہ ہم سے ہیں۔ یعنی ان کو کدو کی حرمت ہے لیکن نواسے رسول کی حرمت نہیں ہے۔ یہی انحطاط کا عالم ہے، اور جتنی خرابیاں آ رہی ہیں اسلام میں ابھی، یہ اسی لیے ہے کہ مسلمان اس صراط مستقیم سے منحرف ہو چکا ہے، فساد کے راہ پر ہے، اہل بیت کو بھول چکا ہے۔ حسین ابن علی مکہ میں ہیں، امن کی جگہ ہے، لیکن وہاں خبر ملتی ہے کہ یزید نے ارادہ کیا ہے کہ حاجیوں کے بھیس میں لوگوں کو ایسیسنس کو بھیجے جائیں کہ اگر حسین طواف کعبہ کرتے ہوئے بھی ملیں تو حسین کو قتل کر دیا جائے۔ حسین نہیں چاہتے تھے کہ دو حرمتوں کا قتل ہو جائے، ایک حسین کا قتل اور ایک کعبے کی حرمت بھی ختم ہو جائے گی۔ لہٰذا امام حسین علیہ السلام نے اپنے حج کی نیت کو عمرہ مفردہ میں بدلا ہے، اور 8 ذی الحجہ کو مکہ چھوڑ دیتے ہیں. جب قافلہ جب تیاری کی بات ہوئی ہے اور جب خبر ہو گئی کہ حسین اب مکہ چھوڑنے والے ہیں، محمد حنفیہ کو جب خبر ملی مدینہ سے جلدی آتے ہیں، رات کے وقت ملے ہیں، شب 8 کو. کہتے ہیں بھائی ہم نے سنا ہے آپ کوفے کی طرف جا رہے ہیں. امام نے کہا ہاں ہم کوفے کی طرف جا رہے ہیں. محمد حنفیہ نے اپنے برادرانہ انداز میں، چھوٹے تھے، کہا کہ کوفے والوں نے جو برتاؤ بھائی اور بابا کے ساتھ کیا تھے وہ بہتر نہیں ہے. وہ اپنی ظاہر بین نگاہوں سے دیکھ رہے تھے مسائل کو. امام نے کہا کہ انشاءاللہ ہم غور کریں گے، ٹال نہیں دیا اس وقت. لیکن الصبح جب معلوم ہوا کہ قافلہ تیار ہو چکا ہے، محمد حنفیہ پہنچتے ہیں اور پوچھتے ہیں کہ بھائی سن رہے ہیں آپ ابھی بھی کوفے کی طرف جا رہے ہیں؟ جو ہم نے باتیں کی تھی ہمدردی کے عنوان سے آپ نے اس پر غور نہیں کیا ہے. امام کس طرح سے بتاتے کہ میرا مقصد کیا ہے؟ بس اس خواب کا ذکر کیا کہ دیکھو نانا آئے تھے اور نانا نے کہا ہے کہ شاء اللہ ان یراک قتیلا، اے حسین خداوند عالم تجھے اسلام کے خاطر قتیل اور شہید دیکھنا چاہتا ہے. محمد حنفیہ نے جب یہ جملہ سنا ہے، اس میں کوئی گنجائش اب بحث کرنے کی نہیں تھی. لیکن جب نظر اٹھایا ہے تو دیکھتے ہیں کہ صرف حسین کی سواری نہیں ہے، ساتھ ساتھ محملیں ہیں اور حسین کے گھر کی بچیاں اور اہل حرم بھی جا رہی ہیں. محمد حنفیہ کو ہمت ہوئی، کہتے ہیں مولا وہ شخص جو مرنے کے ارادے سے جاتا ہے اپنی بیوی بچوں کو لے کے نہیں جاتا ہے. ان کو میرے حوالے کر دے، ہم مدینہ چلے جائیں گے. حسین کس طرح سے محمد حنفیہ کو بتاتے اور سمجھاتے کہ اگر یہ نہ ہوں گی تو میرا مقصد میری لاش کے ساتھ کربلا میں دفن ہو جائے گا. مجھے ضرورت ہے زینب ام کلثوم اور سکینہ اور فاطمہ کی، یہ ہماری آواز کو شام اور کوفہ تک پہنچائیں گے. بس ایک جملہ کہتے ہیں کہ نانا نے یہ بھی کہا ہے شاء اللہ ان یراہن صبایا، کہ اللہ کی مشیت یہی ہے کہ اسلام کے خاطر ان کو اسیر اور قیدی دیکھیں. عزیزان حسین یہ قافلہ روانہ ہوا. روانہ ہوتے ہوتے 2 محرم کو کربلا میں پہنچا ہے قافلہ. روایات کے لحاظ سے حسین کا جب گھوڑا وہاں پہ پہنچا ہے، آگے بڑھنے کے لیے تیار نہ ہوا. امام نے کئی گھوڑے بدلے ہیں. آخر میں جگہ کا نام پوچھتے ہیں، کسی نے نینوا کہا. آخر میں جب کربلا کا نام آیا حسین سمجھ گئے میری میعاد یہی ہے، وعدہ گاہ ہماری یہی ہے قتل و شہادت کے لیے. حکم دیتے ہیں خیمے نصب کیے جائیں اور اس کے بعد پتہ لگاتے ہیں کہ یہ زمین کس کی ہے. عزاداران حسین ایک جملہ ہم کہنا چاہیں گے کہ امام حسین علیہ السلام حالات کو جانتے ہوئے بھی یہ گوارا نہیں کرتے ہیں کہ ان کے لاش کو ایسی زمین میں دفن کیا جائے جو ان کی اپنی ملکیت نہ ہو. بنو اسد کے بارے میں جب معلوم ہوا، بنو اسد والوں کو بلاتے ہیں اور ان کے ساتھ ایک ڈیل کرتے ہیں جہاں اس زمین کو خرید لیتے ہیں. لیکن عزاداران حسین نے اس ایگریمنٹ میں ایک جملہ لکھا ہے جہاں آپ کو اور ہمیں یاد کیا ہے. بنو اسد سے کہا ہے کہ ہم اس زمین کو خرید تو رہے ہیں لیکن تمہارے حوالے کرتے ہیں اس شرط کے ساتھ جب میرے شیعہ میری زیارت کے لیے آئے 3 دن تک ان کا خیال رکھنا اور ان کی رہنمائی فرمانا. عزاداران حسین وہاں بھی ہمیں نہیں بھولے ہیں. آخر میں کچھ بزرگ علماء کی روایت کے مطابق امام نے بنو اسد کے مردوں کو اور عورتوں اور بچوں کو جدا جدا کرنے کے بعد ایک جملہ کہتے ہیں. بنو اسد کے مردوں سے کہتے ہیں کہ یزیدی لشکر ہمیں قتل کرنے کے بعد ہمیں ہمیں دفن نہیں کرے گا، تم ہمت کر کے آنا اور مجھے دفن کر دینا۔ عزاداران حسین، امت مسلمہ کے انحطاط کے منظر کو دیکھے کہ نواز رسول اب عورتوں سے مخاطب ہوتا ہے، اگر تمہارے مردوں میں ہمت نہ ہو تو تم اپنے حجاب اور دامن کو پکڑے ہوئے ہمارے لاشوں کو قریب آ کے ہمیں دفن کر دینا۔ آخر میں نواز رسول بچوں سے ہاتھ جوڑتا ہے کہ اگر ماں باپ کی ہمت نہ ہوئی، اے بنو اسد کے بچے، تم کھیلتے ہوئے مقتل ترانا اور اپنے ننھی مٹھی سے ہمارے لاش کو دفن کر دینا۔ عزاداران حسین، حسین نے اتنا اہتمام کیا تھا، لیکن ہائے حرمت حسین، جب آخری وقت آیا ہے، ابن زیاد نے، عمر ابن سعد نے ابن زیاد کے حکم سے گھوڑے دوڑائے ہیں اس طرح سے کہ حسین کی ہڈیاں پشت کے ہڈیاں سے جا ملتی ہیں۔ زینب نے جب اس منظر کو دیکھا ہے، آسمان کی طرف نظر کرتی ہے، نانا آسمان کے ملائکہ آپ پر صلوات پڑھتے ہیں، آپ زمین پر آ کے دیکھیں آپ کے نواسے کی کس طرح سے بے حرمتی۔ الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین، سیعلم الذین ظلموا ای منقلب ینقلبون۔ خداوند اس خلیبات قبول فرما، ہمارے گناہوں کو بخش دے، ہماری توفیقات میں اضافہ فرما۔ خداوندہ جہاں جہاں مومنین پریشان حال ہے ان کی پریشانی کو رفع دفع فرما۔ خداوندہ جہاں جہاں مسلمان تکفیری افواج میں گرفتار ہیں، تکفیری افواج کی تمام طاقت کو نیست و نابود فرما، اور انہیں اگر صلاحیت اور اہلیت ہے ہدایت کی تو ہدایت فرما، ورنہ انہیں بھی اس صفحہ ہستی سے اٹھا لے۔ خداوند امام کے ظہور میں تعجیل فرما۔ ربنا تقبل منا انک انت السمیع العلیم۔ ماتم حسین۔